Hello, nice to see you, all of you.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Likewise, Happy New Year. Hope the
Yeah,
holiday period
likewise.
was good.
Hello, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you as well. My name is Adia,
Pleasure.
and here's my colleague Ivan. As you know, we are from Platinum. So I'm really glad that we're not so many people, but we still have some people for today because I believe most of them are on holidays. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. So for today's speech, we're excited to welcome Damien and Trent from FX1 project. Guys, I'm giving the microphone to you. Please introduce yourself and feel free to start your pitch.
Fantastic. Thank you. No worries. Great to meet you guys. It'd be good to get a quick overview of, I mean, it's a small group, which is kind of nice as well. So it'd be good to hear a little bit about yourselves as well. But yeah, we'll give you a quick overview of, Trent and myself's background, and then we can get into the pitch and, have plenty of times to ask questions. Okay, well, we'll kick off with who we are, and then we'll get into the information. So, yep. I'm Damien. I'm the co-founder of FX1 and the CEO. So I've been in the sports category for probably about 20 odd years now, working in various different businesses. I've worked in Nike and Adidas, so high-end enterprise businesses, as well as, ran a number of different startups and business consultants, so sports consultancy businesses as well through this period. So I've been in sort of that startup space for quite a while. I've been in the Web3 areas since about 2020, sort of kicked off around NFT world, and really just fell in love with what blockchain and what the technology and the capabilities of what it can do, which really got me passionate and excited about the category. Also did a startup back in Australia. You might have recognized the accent. That was an ed tech or an education tech startup that grew to about a $600 million valuation in 3 years. So that was an exciting journey, one of many failures, but also many things we did right as well. So sort of cut my teeth on that as an initial intro into the startup world and how to scale a business. And how not to scale a business, let's just say, and really got me into where I'm going in today. And I've had a couple of small past exits, but FX1, we've been on this journey now for 4 years, and this is, certainly the thing I'm certainly passionate about. So that's a little bit about myself. I'll hand over to Trent.
Hey everyone, thanks Damien. My name is Trent. I'm also an Australian. Like Damien, I'm the CTO of FX1. I head up technology, but of course, as a small company, we wear multiple hats. So I've been building companies since I was in my teens, since I was still at school. Actually, this is, I think, officially my 8th startup. So it's not my first rodeo. I've been through it all. My experience includes a big appliance store. I was a 6th employee of a company called Appliances Online back in 2006. They are now Australia's largest online appliance retailer. In fact, they sell 1 out of every 2 dishwashers that are sold in the country of Australia. So they are the largest online retailer. I was there with them for the first 3 years of their growth. I left to do a few things. I came back about 5 years later and then was there for another 5 years, initially as Chief Marketing Officer of Appliances Online before moving to other areas within the group, given it was a group of companies. So that was one of my wins. I also co-founded Australia's fastest ever microbrewery called Young Henry's. We made beer. We also made cider, and I came on as a kind of a growth marketer, but also technology, helping them use tech to implement that into their business to help them grow. I've also built a number of digital agencies. One was a web development agency. Another one was a marketing dev agency. I also built a fintech company, a company providing payment cards to customers, to students. In fact, it was a Visa-backed card offering, and we sold that to a public company called Novarti within 3 years of starting that company. So my experience spans a number of different consumer-based offerings. It's not really I'm tied to one industry. I can work in any industry, and to cap it off, I love sport. I've been playing sports since I was a kid. I actually boxed for about 20 years. I've had 22 fights as an amateur boxer. I now do jiu-jitsu. So I have a love of sport. I especially love combat sport. And of course, I have a love for blockchain technology. I've been into what blockchain can do since the Bitcoin blockchain was created back in 2009. I've been following it closely. And in the last 4 years, I've kind of realized where this technology is going and where it's headed. So yeah, that's me.
Cool. Well, we'll jump into the presentation unless there's any questions about Trent and myself. So yeah, welcome to FX1's. So what are we building, or who are we? We're a sports betting predictions and analytics company. We use AI, particularly. There's a few different areas of AI we use. We'll get into that in the pitch deck. But really, what we use the AI for is to inform, captivate, and equip sports fans to improve their betting experience, but also to improve their consumption of a live sports game in a whole new data-led way as well, which we'll get through and get into. Yeah, so really what we're about at FX1 here is it's redefining a new category in live sports, a new category which is actually a data-led category, very much around fan engagement and sports betting. We know sports betting is the ultimate fan engagement category or section. When you bet on a game, we know there's a high level of engagement in that actual game. So that for us is all about doing a data-led approach around that, but it's really empowering fans as well with these tools. So rather than going direct to enterprise, for us it's about moving into a consumer-led model, and then really enabling a new way to consume the sport, as I mentioned. And this is where our AI gets really exciting, where we have generative and predictive AI that really provides advanced data to develop the next generation of sports consumption. And what we do there is really deliver these in-game advanced analytics and in-game predictions as well, which is super exciting. So on the right there, you'll see that sports betting really sits at the core of what we do at FX1, but we're all about fan engagement, and we're all about the AI which can enable that to happen. And we'll get into what that looks like in the pitch deck. So what are the problems we're looking to solve in this category? We'll get into the size of the category further down in the deck, but traditional sports and data collection methods typically have not changed or evolved. They're still very manual. They still have people sitting there, at the game, at the fight, or wherever it may be in the event, manually collecting that data, which is super surprising to everyone. So for us, it's all about moving that into a digitized, move that online, and move that into really the 21st century is what we're about. What is really interesting though is when you dive deeper into the AI and data, so much data is actually wasted every time that a sports game is played, and we'll touch on exactly what that wasted data is. If we move into the sports betting category, we know sports bookmakers have an unfair advantage across the bettor. We know they set the odds. We know that it's structured in a way to help to ensure that the sports fan loses, really. And we have a model of problem around. We see a problem around that. We know that being good at betting takes time. You need analytics, you need data, you need tools, you need all this information, and it's very complicated and difficult. And we also know that betting sites are very boring, quite honestly. They're not fun, they're not engaging, and they're not an enjoyable experience to come on there. If you go to a casino on ground, you go to Las Vegas or wherever it may be, to have a bit of fun. There's lights, there's action, there's things going on. That is not replicated online right now on these betting sites. And so for us, we see these as significant problems in the market, where we see an opportunity to really redefine what it is online to do sports betting. Trent, I'll hand over to you if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, just on the last slide, the one thing we've also realized is that there is so much data that actually is missed from live games. So we talked about there's still people that sit there and watch the game to collect stats, but there is so much information that goes on within a game that the human eye cannot detect. The human eye can't see it. And we're in an era where computer vision, specifically in AI, which I'll talk about in a second, is about to take over and really show that we are missing so much information from games that tells us more about the game, how it's tracking, how it's trending, and what can happen next. And that's what's so amazing here, is that we're about to extract so much more data from the live game that doesn't exist yet in the real world. So this is what you see here is our MVP prototype. This is what we'll be launching with. You'll see here that we do have the betting, or the ability to place bets. You'll see it on the left-hand side. But what's really more exciting and what makes this far more than just a betting platform is our ability to provide analytics. So you're starting with combat sports, which is where we're beginning. We'll be able to collect stats in real time, so show strikes, for example, in real time, count them in real time, show them per fighter in real time, as well as bring that data and represent it on time-based charts. So whether it's, a line graph or a bar graph, we're going to be able to bring that data in, and we're going to show it on time-based charts to show how things are tracking throughout the game. So that, it's one thing to know how many punches a boxer or MMA fighter has thrown. It's entirely another thing to see if the punches that fighter is throwing are increasing or are decreasing over time. And that's what we're bringing in here. We're bringing in time-based charts and analytics to live games that allow someone to analyze a game better than they ever have before, as well as put them in a position to know what could and is likely to happen next.
Yeah, so as Trent mentioned, we're starting with combat sports, and we'll touch on that as a category further down as well. But just to reframe, so real-time advanced stats and analytics, as well as predictions, AI will also inform. But this product here you see will be going live in early February. So here's an example of it, and then we'll touch in a little bit more around the AI.
So if you see the bars on the right and left, so this is all done using computer vision. This is no human intervention. So we've run the model against this fight, and you can see that we're tracking punches. So we're tracking punches thrown and landed. We're also tracking significant punches. How we determine what a significant punch is not based on what we think it is. It's based on the computer knowing what it is. So we're tracking force, and we've determined an amount of force that is required for it to be a significant punch. And that's how we determine whether it's significant or not. And so you'll see that we track the speed. We're tracking the average speed of punches and the speed of every punch. And of course, the force. You'll see the average force presented as well in terms of how hard these fighters are hitting. There's also a body map down the bottom that shows you where the fighter is being hit. And we've also got the time and force presented over time-based graphs, as you'll see at the bottom of the screen. So this is quite revolutionary because it's not quite being done out there. And we really do believe this is the future of sports. People that love sports really do want a more in-depth view of the sport. They really want to know what's going on a deeper level, and that's what this gives them. It gives them a better understanding of how a fight's tracking, not to mention what it can give a referee or judge that is at the game that could be using this technology to better inform their decisions and how they see the game, because we are biased, and that's why there are so many bad decisions that happen in combat sports. And we truly believe this is the answer to try and improve, not just the fans' engagement in the sport, but the ability for officials to do their jobs as well.
Okay, cool. So that was bare knuckle fighting. So you would have seen there as well. As Trent mentioned, the pounds per force. To give you some sort of idea, Mike Tyson would do around about 1,000 pounds per force per punch. You saw these guys doing around 700 to 800 pounds per force, and then you saw the speed as well. So that was, obviously you saw the designs on the previous slide of where we're moving and how it's going to look like in real time, but that gives you an idea of what our devs have brought forward. So that's bare knuckle fighting championship, that actual league you saw. We're actually talking to them at the moment, had a couple of meetings with them to be their official data analytics and predictions partner. That would enable us to get the live feed of the fights. So we're very excited about that. We've also used the AI and overlaid it across a number of UFC fights as well, which can show you if you want to see that at the end of the presentation, as well as other combat sports such as slap fighting as well, if you've heard of that before. So we've also been able to do it across there as well. So for us, it's about really hitting combat sports in a big way with this AI. Before Trent jumps in on this slide here, what makes it really unique is what we see visually there, and what we looked at visually there on the screen is the live fight, and what we take from it is very different to what the AI takes from it. The AI actually takes the pixels from the live fight and extracts that data, and that's where we can uncover undiscovered data points that currently do not exist in live sports. And then it's about how do we present that, how do we articulate, how do we entertain and create a story around that online, which is all about data. And for us, FX1 is a very exciting companion to the live game, as well as a complementary component to the live game as well. And that's really where we see it heading. But I'll just hold there. I'll let Trent sort of talk a little bit about a bit more detail around the AI.
Yeah, so there's a lot of companies out there that do AI, and the bulk of them are what are known as ChatGPT wrappers, in that they're just using the API for ChatGPT, and that's how they get their AI done. We are far from a ChatGPT wrapper. We have a custom built model structure that we've worked on in order to deliver what we're delivering. So this is what you see is the plan for how we are integrating this. We use 3 different base models. We have a re-ID model, a pose model, and a tracking model. And we use those 3 models in order to do 2 things. One is the event detection, that is detecting what is happening in the fight. It's everything you saw in that video. And then, of course, the prediction. So being able to predict what's going to happen, predict who may win a fight, who may win a game, as well as predict what's happening in the duration of that game or fight based on the analytics. The analytics show amazing things and trends on what is actually going on in that fight that, again, the human eye can't always see. And that's why these things go hand in hand. The event detection and our ability to know what's going on gives us a really good ability to predict.
And, what you saw on those fights, is just the starting point. For us, our AI developers are extracting more and more data points and able to, get to the point where we're labeling every punch, kick, takedown, and further information as well. So, you're seeing the starting of where it's going. And, we're very excited. It gives you some ideas of what we can extract out and the predictions that we can bring in as well on the slide. So we talk a little bit now, if we sort of just pause on the tech, and that sort of gives you an idea of the product and the technology that wraps around it. We talk about the category we're playing in and what we're excited about. For us, sports betting as a category, particularly in the US, is a very exciting space. We know right now online sports betting is a $63 billion industry. It's huge, ginormous. It's growing in double digits. But what's also interesting to us, very interesting to us, is the US. And the US is at a very early infancy stage in online sports betting. It's highly regulated. It's a state-by-state based approval process. Which limits the barriers of entry, heightens the barriers of entry for businesses to come in. But at the moment, US online sports betting is just over $7 billion industry market wide, but it's growing at 17%, which is significant, and has been legalized across 38 states in the past 5 years. So 38 states in the past 5 years, which is very exciting. And for us, our target market particularly is that 24 to 44-year-old, which is about 42% of that total market. So for us, we're very excited about the category and moving into the US, particularly around sports betting, because we see there's a huge growth opportunity and the timing is perfect. To give you an idea about the customer and who we're targeting, so initially we're targeting the 24 to 44-year-old male, this early, this Gen Z millennial type customer who's a sports fan. We know their consumption habits have changed. They're different to the older generation. They like short form content. They want immediacy. They want social interaction. They want to have an interactive component of how they actually watch sports versus a passive component of sitting back there and not watching it. We know that also, this fan is very interested in combat sports and mixed martial arts. At the moment, that's a $300 million fans globally. Oh, did we lose someone there? So so we know this customer is very passionate about mixed martial arts and is very well aligned to where we're moving. Now, we're starting with this customer and this sport as an initial launch. But absolutely, this will be replicated across other sports. We're already considering things like American football, obviously soccer or football in Europe, basketball, college sports as well. We can see there's no question that the AI and the technology and obviously sports betting plays a hand in all these different sports. But we're starting with MMA. We know we can roll into MMA, mixed martial arts. We can move into boxing, kickboxing, and a number of different sports very quickly with this technology. So that's what we're focused in. focused on, and this is the customer we're after. So this gives you a sort of a conceptual view or macro view of the platform and where we're moving with it. So you'll see at the center of it is a sports betting platform, but we're launching with the AI as an initial product on FX1, and then we'll move into sports betting as a secondary component. On the right-hand side, you'll see where we have the predictions, we have the advanced analytics that will be a part of that. You saw that at the start of the slides. On the left-hand side, it's about, as we said, if we sort of refer back to that problem slide, it's about providing some sort of form of entertainment, engagement, gamification, and enjoyment for the sports fan and the sports bettor. And for us, this is where we've developed already the ability to create private groups, public groups, come in and invite your friends and watch and consume the live game via data on FX1. We're looking to gamify that as well and entertain. And that's where obviously the FX1 token comes into a really exciting play around it. So, but at the heartbeat of it is obviously sports. The AI really enables that for us as an adoption component, starting with the AI rather than moving straight into a sports betting platform. Makes a lot of sense. You know, to acquire a customer in the sports betting category is can be a very expensive strategy and plan and go-to-market plan. So the AI is what really drives and brings in that unique proposition for FX1 as we move into a bigger play around commercialization. So this talks a little bit about our business model and how we actually make money. So this is on the left-hand side. We're currently in stage 1. So this is, as I mentioned, we'll be moving into a subscription model for the AI sports betting. So you could come on here, you could access a free level of data. Then we'll lock up certain elements of the AI analytics and predictions. So as a sports fan or sports bettor wants to access that data to consume the live game or to access that data to bet off platform or on platform eventually on FX1, they would pay a subscription fee for that. And that could be per game, it could be per month, it could be for a particular league, etc. So we can really play around with those subscription fees as we get going. And also we're currently generating revenue for the company on our token. And then the next stage as we move on, which is the second half of the year, is about taking a commission from all the wins on our peer-to-peer sports betting exchange, as well as advertising across the platform as well from a revenue perspective. Trent, do you want to jump on here and talk about the peer-to-peer exchange? And you know, I think when we talk about sports betting, we're not talking about being the sports book. We're talking about being a peer-to-peer platform. And maybe Trent, you want to touch on that for them?
Yeah, we felt that in realizing that our what we're building is like goes hand in hand with betting. We thought, well, you know, how do we enter the betting market? And it was clear to us from the very outset that peer-to-peer, being a peer-to-peer exchange or peer-to-peer betting was the answer, was the right play for us, and not being a book. The books are very much against the fan. Like they're setting the odds, they're trying to beat the fan, they're trying to beat their customer. We don't like that model. The peer-to-peer model is a model in which you bet directly with your friends. So it goes back to where betting really begun. Back in the dark ages when people would bet, they would bet against each other. And we're bringing it back to that. So it's back to a peer-to-peer model where you bet against your friend or against someone you know or against someone you don't know instead of against the book. So that allows you to set your own odds. It allows you to get better odds. It allows you to find odds that you will not find on a sports book for a particular bet you want to make. It's a much fairer way to bet. And of course, it lowers transaction fees as well. So it has all these benefits, and it's why you're seeing the growth of peer-to-peer exchanges. They are growing around the world. Where they're not growing or where they have been stagnated in growth is the US, because as we've explained, the US has had regulatory challenges for a long time. They do not lead the world in betting. They are far behind the world and the rest of the world in betting, but they will catch up. And that's what we're trying to jump on this road to them catching up. And that's why we believe P2P is the answer, because it does all those things that I just mentioned. In addition, it's on a massive growth phase here in the US. The first P2P exchanges were only approved just over a year ago in the US, in the first state being New Jersey. More states are opening up to peer-to-peer betting, but we're just at the birth of it. We're at the very, very beginning, and this is where we believe is a good entry point for us.
Yeah, and it's all about winning. And that's where the AI enables someone to help them become a better bet, help them make it easier for them to bet. And that's where for us, it's about winning, not losing. And that's where it links in perfectly as a partner to peer-to-peer. This gives you a little high level, I'm just conscious of the time, gives you a high level of how we actually go to sporting leagues and work with them. There's some questions in the chat around how do we access that data. So the data we access at the moment will be via initially the live stream, the live video stream via, could be ESPN or wherever station or streaming platform has that. It's completely legal to access and access data, standard data from a game, extract that and use that. It's when you look to recreate the experience from a live component, you start to get into copyright or IP law. So for us, it's about extracting that, but we want to do as many deals directly with the leagues. So we have that live feed, as well as obviously pull that data back to the league to enable them to do different things with it. So as I said, we're already speaking with Bare Knuckle, we're speaking with Slap Fighting Championship and another one as well to be their official analytics and predictions partner as well. So I just want to talk a little bit about our token at the moment. There's definitely an integration, obviously, of our FX1 token. So maybe Trent, do you want to jump on this slide and we'll keep moving? Yeah.
So we launched a token back in April, and we've been incredibly impressed with the progress that it's had. We've got a lot of people that really do believe in us. We got a lot of holders of the token because they believe in the vision and where it's going. So, with a platform so focused on betting and AI, you ask, where's the crypto component? The crypto component is payment. So we want to allow people to pay and bet with cryptocurrency, including the FX1 token, as well as fiat currency if they want to. So they'll have the choice. They'll have multiple payment methods, regular standard dollar or cryptocurrency. If they use the FX1 dollar on platform, they'll get benefits. They'll get cheaper or 0% fees on transactions. They'll also get additional benefits from being a holder of the token. So that includes them being able to stake it. We're about to launch our staking contract in just a few weeks. So that is an exciting thing for the company, but they'll also be able to hold it in order to get additional benefits by being on platform. So that's how we bring cryptocurrency in. One thing we haven't mentioned though is how we're being able to lock up fees, or how we plan to lock up fees in escrow when we launch our betting. So we're going to be using a smart contract that was built by the Monaco protocol in order to lock up bets. So no matter if you're using fiat currency or cryptocurrency, when you place your bet, we lock the bet up in a smart contract, and that's the escrow. It's held in that escrow until the winner is deemed of that bet. And then once the winner is announced of that bet, then the contract pays out the winner. And that's how we take that, we make it fair, that we don't hold the escrow. We've got it in a third party, and we use blockchain and decentralized technology in order to facilitate that escrow.
So we'll just touch on this. So these are the financial forecasts, and we can share this investor deck at the end if you like, but gives you some ideas. We've got plans around, as I said, launching via the AI subscriptions, and then we move into the peer-to-peer sports betting where we will earn a commission off that. But we also, as I said, are currently generating revenue from our token. So that's how we'll look to do that. Obviously, the peer-to-peer sports betting exchange, when we do go live, we'll be getting a license for that. We'll probably start with an international license out of Isle of Man or Kakaro. That will enable us to start that protocol, and then we'll look to go into the US and drive into a state-by-state licensing regime. So that will enable us to access mass adoption across fiat and the general sports fan, as well as obviously the crypto sports fan or sports bettor as well. So that's where the state-based licenses enable you to get that larger adoption of fiat currency and that larger sports fan. This is our user and how we're going to attract a user. I think there's a question there in the chat around how we're going to deal with FanDuel and other big players. For us, it's about leading in with the AI, it's leading in with the data, it's leading with the consumption and the new experience. But we also have a very exciting existing community out there that are very passionate about FX1. They're sports fans, a lot of them are sports bettors, and obviously a lot of them love crypto as well. The majority of them love crypto as well. So we'll be launching with our existing community out there, as well as driving deep into YouTube shows around our content and our AI event rooms, and looking to work with ambassadors as well to draw people into the platform. So for us, once we hit the sports betting category at the back end of the year, we'll really be having an existing audience already on our platform. So for us, it's about then commercializing that and then moving them into a sports betting customer from there. But we'll already have an existing customer, via the front end of the year through the AI. Yeah, so a high level, we already have apps live. Do you just want to touch on this quickly, Trent?
Yeah, so we have apps in the app stores. We've got a website as well, both custom built. We work very hard on our technology to make sure it's technology that can scale. We have video and audio integration. So right now inside event rooms, you can turn on your webcam, you can chat via audio, you can also chat via text. We have all that functionality built in, which is there to make this a social experience. We always knew this was important. We also have event rooms for different sports on FX1. We currently do have a range of sports, but we will be bringing that back to just combat sports once we launch the next variation of our product.
Yeah, so it gives you an idea. As we said, we had an existing customer. We're already generating revenue, and we've already got some data. We're not generating any current revenue from the platform. It's coming completely from the token. But we know once we launch the subscription services across AI, then we'll start charging, which we forecast will start happening in April. Won't go into too much detail, but just to be aware that we have done a full competitor analysis across the board, and we've looked at different features and functions and pros and cons of everyone, and we do have something in place. We're well aware of where we're positioned in the market, where our competitors are positioned, and how we're different. So we can again pass the slide on at the end of the presentation. And this is to finish is our roadmap. So for us, we have a very clear plan and roadmap. We have a 35-page business plan for the year. We know where we're going. As I said, we're launching our MMA product, AI MMA product in February. We're actually launching staking in about 2 weeks on the platform as well. Staking for our contract or our token. And then from there, it's just moving from one stage to the next across the quarters. So yeah, we're very excited about where we're heading for 2024. I might just pause there. Trent, is there anything else you want to sort of talk about before we get into the questions?
No, I think they'll come out in the wash in the questions.
Yeah, so in the chat, there's a lot of questions. So if you want to jump in there.
Because I think the first question was from Osnat.
That's right.
And so that's a quick answer. Yes, it can be. I think you're referring to the AI. Can it be used to identify fraud or false rulings? It definitely can be. So I think that's what will come definitely out once we build this and especially get into the hands of the leagues and allow them to use it. But definitely, they're already using certain parts of AI in certain sports, like tennis does use certain computer vision to understand if a ball's in or out. We definitely can use that, and we will be planning to use that as part of what we're doing.
So why is it not part of your projected revenue streams? I would actually consider including it.
Yeah, it's a good question. And last year we had a huge deck and we had all these different ways we could actually commercialize the AI and the technology. And for us, what we wanted to do was just nail down and focus on one thing that we felt had the best commercial outcome and the best opportunity to succeed. And that's when we moved deeper into sports betting around that category. But we absolutely had that as a component. It's not to say that in time, FX1 as a company can move and pivot and adjust to the opportunities commercially that come its way, which we see this as a reality. But we wanted to start and be very clear on a focus on what we wanted to launch out as.
The next one was from Joshua. Thanks for your question, Joshua. So Joshua said, curious to know how you would show a live fight or NBA match with licensing restrictions. So Damien did mention this. We won't be taking the live stream. We won't be showing the live stream at all. All we'll be doing is have our AI models watching the live fight. Which we will have legal access to, and then we'll be extracting that data from the live game. So there are many benefits that will come with signing with a league. To be able to plug in directly to their cameras is one of them, but there's numerous benefits. But there isn't any restrictions for us to get this live based on what we know about the law.
Yeah, and if you think about how you can consume sport now, and this is what this is all about, is yes, you can watch it via the live video, you can listen to it on the radio, you can go to the live game, you can even in some sports watch it in VR. We're creating a whole new experience here through data. What we like to call it is data vision, where you actually can consume sport through a data-led consumption model, where it's a multi-companion, i.e. you have FX1 on your phone, on your app, while you're consuming the live sport, for example. The insights we'll provide, the entertainment we'll provide via that data is something you're not going to get by the broadcast, as we mentioned, because the broadcast does not extract pixels from the data and put that real time. So for us, it's innovating a new way to consume and a complementary multi-device strategy for live sports, which doesn't exist.
The one from Matthias, what could be your liabilities if the prediction fails? So it comes back to T&Cs, terms and conditions. We already have a partnership with a big legal firm that is here to help us make sure we do things right. So, making sure the user knows that, hey, these are our best predictions, but you bet at your own risk. This is you that's placing the bet, not ourselves. So it'll come down to the terms and what they'll agree to when they come on to FX1 and you use FX1. The next question, how do you know if a punch has connected or was a miss? Great question, Winston. So we are tracking not just the speed of the hand as it moves towards the fighter. We're also tracking the skin and the movement of the skin on the fighter that the punch is landing on. So that's how we know. We know that, hey, a punch is thrown, but we also look for the area that it's been thrown to see if there's a movement in the skin. Is there a movement in the body where they're struck? Because that determines that it's hit. So that's the technology we're using. We're connecting both of them up to know when we actually know that a punch landed. And then next one, another one, I think this is a comment. God's Gift said, I wonder if this can be done darts and soccer. Yes. Soccer is a much different format, or team sports are a different format to combat sports, in that it's a wide field and you rarely get a overview of the whole field from the camera. The camera is usually zoned in on areas, so it will require its own approach. But we know that if we can, completely tackle and grab combat sports, we can go to other leagues and we just apply and adjust our models for those other sports in other leagues. So it's possible. It's just a matter of going into that sport and figuring out what we need to do and how we need to modify our models to adapt to that sport based on the type of sport that it is.
Yep.
Yeah, said your product seems to be focused on increasing fan engagement. How do you measure the current level of engagement by sport, and how you measure the impact on fan engagement? So I guess that interested to know your feedback, Damien, but I think it's, for us, it's usage. Like, do we have people coming and using the product? Do they come back again and again? What's our retention rate? For me, that's a product that is sticky and one that is increasing the engagement for a fan. So when we release our MVP soon, we'll know how many people, in particular fight fans, are coming and downloading the app. We'll know how many are coming back. So that tells us if we are increasing engagement. I think too, once we get the betting live, it's how many people come back again and again. How many people are paying for the subscription tools? Because we know that there will be people that place bets on our platform, but there will also be customers that likely just come for the analytics. They don't really care about betting. They don't want to bet, but they do want the analytics, and they will be prepared to pay the subscription fee in order to access the deep and analysis that we provide on sport. So we'll use a number of metrics. We also use Mixpanel. That's our reporting tool. So we send a whole bunch of events into Mixpanel, and that's what allows us to understand how our apps and the website are tracking. Yeah. And then Dave said how you compete against established companies such as FanDuel.
Yep.
I think you got to understand that plenty of companies do take down the big giants, right? And for us, the edge is what Damien mentioned, and that is we will bring in something that betting companies do not have, right? FanDuel, DraftKings, like they don't have predictions, they don't have analytics, they don't have time-based charts. So we believe that we can. We're small, no one knows about us, right? We'll use that to our advantage. We also move very, very quick as a small company, and that's to our advantage. So there are certain challenges with competing with the big guys, but we're not focused on that. All we're focused on is trying to create an amazing product initially for fight fans that they love, that they want to use, that they want to come back for. That's what we're focused on right now. We know if we can do that, hey, the sky's kind of our limit.
Yeah, I would just touch on this on the betting component there is, and FanDuel and all these other sports books are all about promotions and offers, and that's really and then obviously their odds around that, and that for us is different. We're a peer-to-peer betting exchange. That's where we're moving to, where it's a person-to-person betting against each other, but the odds are better, the fees are lower. It's a more fair and controlled experience for the sports bettor. And as Trent mentioned, we don't need to compete necessarily around that adoption component because we're leading with the AI, we're leading with the data, we're leading with the analytics, we're leading with the new way to consume the live game through data vision. They don't have any of that. They're trying to attract people in, get them to bet, and beat them basically, and help them lose. We're trying to help people win. So we're a very different value proposition to these players. These players are huge, they're massive. And for us, as Trent mentioned, it's nailing combat sports and moving on to the next sport, and from there and there. And I think from the next question there, we've got, do you have licensing? Yeah, well, we do not have licensing at the moment, but we have looked at research licensing. As I said, we looked at Isle of Man and Kakaro as the two options for international licensing. And we're also looking at the state of New Jersey as our first state of application in the US as well. They were the first to approve peer-to-peer sports betting in the US. It's one of the largest states for betting as well. And for us, it's a great opportunity to enter into where we're at. So that's one we're looking at as well. But that is a process. And anything we do here around this category will certainly be legal. Be aware that the international licensing enables cryptocurrency to be used for sports betting, but a state-based license in the US would enable us to access fiat-based sports bettors as well. And that's the big difference there.
Do you want to take the next one as well, Damien? Why betting and not, say, broadcasters or professional sport?
Yeah, so it's accurate. Yeah, so as I sort of mentioned before, and one of those questions is, we had a huge investor deck of all these different categories and how we can commercialize this. So we've absolutely looked at broadcasting, officiating, putting this data back into the live experience of the game as a commercial model. We've also looked at injury and team analysis and players, and how that can enable a team or a player to improve their performance as well through the analytics. And we looked at the market, as I said, and we looked at competitors, and where we land is where we feel is the best opportunity on a high growing category. Sports betting is growing significantly. It's a huge market, and we saw a big hole in that market where the AI technology was not enabled in the way we can see it. In our history and our background is we've looked at the stream, we've looked at live sports online, and looked at how can we redefine that category, particularly, as I said, comes back to the problem, comes back to the customer. We're looking at that 24 to 44-year-old, how they're consuming entertainment online has changed. And for us, this is where we bring in a huge point of differentiation to what currently sits out there. So, that's where we're starting with. As I said, as we become a much bigger company, these opportunities that will be presented to us to enable this AI to be used across other different sports in different forms, we'll definitely look at in time. But right now, it's all about where we're heading on our roadmap.
Next question from Dave. He said, "How are odds set in peer-to-peer betting?" So it's really about you putting down a price. You say, "I think that the Bulls and the NBA are going to win this game. I'm willing to bet $5 that they'll win." Someone has to take the other side of that bet. So someone has to come and say, "Okay, cool, I'll bet that same amount against the other team, for the other team." So, in a book, you've always got the book that's willing to take the other side, but in a peer-to-peer exchange, you need someone else to take that bet. So you can set your own odds. But of course, if you set a ridiculous odd for a favorite, no one's going to pick that up because it's just too far. So there are tools that we will implement to make it easy to know what they users should set their odds at. But that's how it works. You choose a bet, you set your odd, and then you wait for someone to come and pick up that bet.
God's gift. Will FX1 have a virtual sports betting feature? So esports, was that what they'd be meaning? I think we'll have esports as a product.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is. Esports or like the visual.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, esports. We'll start with traditional sports. We know this is where the majority of sports fans are, sports bettors are. As we look to move into sort of more niche elements, we'll consider them. But initially, it'll be with the major sports. I would suggest, yeah.
I think if it's also virtual reality, no, there's no plan for virtual reality at the moment. I think even Zuckerberg is really struggling with VR. He's diving into VR, so VR is not where we're thinking, but it definitely could be down the track. But we'll wait until the demand moves in that area if it does. So Okay, and Sebastian about the token, is the only benefit of the token some staking rewards and a price discount? So that is the main benefit. So they can stake, they can earn interest of staking, and they can also earn benefits by being on the platform. So there are there is a price discount, but there are also benefits we will likely introduce. For example, we do have group functionality and chat functionality, and the idea is to create certain groups that only certain people will be able to get into, depending on if you have the token or hold the token, or if you stake the token, or if you hold one of the NFTs that were released. They're the kind of things that we can introduce in order to provide more benefits for having our token.
Yeah, I think just on that one, there's could be a couple other quick questions around that. It's about, if you look at crypto related sports betting platforms, it's about obviously being able to bet with crypto, connect your wallet and then bet with crypto. And obviously we'll definitely have that. Betting with FX1 will provide discounts on the wins, so a zero commission fee on wins for people that are using FX1. But then also, as you mentioned, discounts on the AI, those components. So that's sort of really at the core of it. And Trent and I, it's all about bringing in a platform that attracts a mass adoption of sports fans and sports bettors, as well as the crypto and Web3 audience, and brings that together. So for us, it's not going too heavy into the Web3 protocol to scare off the mass adoption of the sports fan as well.
There's a question on payment processing from Tim. So we've looked at a few. We've got the Stripe, there's Adyen. So for our fiat, I'm talking about our fiat payment processing, when people want to use a debit card, like they're two of the ones that were looked at. But once we get to adding payments in, we'll decide who the best merchant is to facilitate that for us. And of course, a big component will be blockchain, right? And blockchain really does provide the payment source when someone's paying via crypto. And then Josh had another question. Where was the token launched from? So the token is launched on the Ethereum blockchain. As mentioned, we launched back in April. We relaunched the contract a few months ago, but it's on the Ethereum blockchain as it is.
Trent, I specifically mean what country is it launched from?
The US.
We've currently done about 11 million in total trading.
Another question, Osnat, is there a different regulatory framework for crypto betting? No, it's just if you're betting, whether you're paying in crypto or fiat currency, it comes back to, do you have the licenses to offer, facilitate that in the country that you're in?
Dave, you plan to leverage your token to attract users, airdrops, participation?
Answer is yes. I think, we do know that we've got a very large, and growing community and vibing community off the back of our token, right? So we do already have a lot of people that really believe in us. And so we're already using it to leverage our platform. We know that when we release the next MVP of our app, we're going to have people that will come and try it immediately and give us immediate feedback. So we're already leveraging it. But yeah, we've got a set of NFTs that we've initially been giving away to community members that have proven themselves, but we've got ideas for how we can, leverage the NFT collections that we've built to benefit ourselves. And there are many ideas that we have, and potentially many ideas that you all have that you could potentially help us with and help us navigate as we grow the company.
A question around current revenue
per user.
Yeah, so we don't have, obviously we have, as I said, we're generating revenue from our token. We don't have a per user revenue, cost to acquire client type model yet to confidently disclose, but we've definitely got a budget around what we think the cost will be to acquire a client. What our initial subscription costs will be to use the AI for a game, to have it for a monthly subscription. But we'll launch the product first and we'll test and trial our revenue models to see where that sits. So at the moment, there's nothing there to comment on per user.
And the next one was,
Live
can you explain the analysis that showed that P2P betting ban is in demand by the market? I'll give you one stat that should show the demand. Profit Exchange was the first P2P betting exchange to launch in the US. They launched in New Jersey. They did it over, 110 million in trading volume in their first 12 months. Off the bat, right? They were a company that came out of YC Combinator. They raised some money. They launched P2P betting and boom, over 100 million in their very first year. So the demand is there. People want to bet, and we obviously the future is unknown, but you do your best to predict the future. We believe that P2P betting is going to grow, and it's going to grow here in the US because of the way that the laws are changing, and because of the benefits that peer-to-peer betting is provided. So I don't think we've seen anything yet. I think we're seeing right at the birth of peer-to-peer betting, especially here in the US.
I think we missed one with Josh. Do you have a possible way for you able to show the live stream legally, no signature? So I mean, that's copyright laws, so you need to get approval to show the live stream. So we won't be showing it unless we actually have a partnership with the league. The leagues we're speaking with, particularly Slap Fight Championship, they're suggesting that we actually do integrate the stream into our platform as well as the analytics. So with that, but it would be on a league by league basis that we would get approval on that.
Are people betting on the actual results or on results of your stats predictions? So they're betting on what someone else has put up as a bet, right? So we're going to give them predictions and suggestions on what they should bet on, but they are really taking the bet with someone else. So they're not really betting on our odds, they're betting on the odds that someone else on the platform sets, or someone else from another exchange that we're partnering with sets. So it's not really, again, we're not the book. We're a P2P exchange that facilitates bets between two or more people. Right.
Lost where we're at, so you keep going. I'll answer.
And then how are you measuring the effectiveness of your computer vision models? Yeah, good question. We track, and so once we run the model against the video, we go back and review it. We've got a way to review that video. We go back and annotate it. It's called annotation. So clipping and then knowing what the actual result for it was. And then we run the video and then we see how closely we match. So we've got a process for doing that. And our head of AI is constantly reviewing that metric to understand how accurate is it. And the beautiful thing about this is as we progress, as we get it live, every fight card that we maintain and run the AI on, we'll be learning from it. So we learn in real time once the model is running in the app, and we'll continually learn from every fight that happens, and we'll get better and better and better as we watch more fight. All right. And then Matthias, NFT as a membership could help you reduce compliance issues. Yeah, man, it totally could. We've got some really cool NFTs that we've designed. We've given 9 away, as I mentioned, but we feel there's a lot that we can do there with them. And we're really excited about the opportunity for our business when it comes to collectibles and how we can best use them. Be interested to chat to you about that offline.
So it's not really the NFT as you maybe know it. It's pretty much also what you can do for regulatory framework because you 100% go into securities here with what you do, what you describe, and I think that's the main challenge that you will have. Unfortunately, you have to leave soon. Have a board meeting now, but I can contact you or whatever because I think a couple of people that have the same opinion. But great product. It's a really interesting idea. I've been in sports and blockchain before. I think it's a massive market, but I see that you have a little bit of challenges in the regulatory framework and how you design the crypto and blockchain things. That's my feeling in the moment.
Yeah, no, thank you for your feedback. Yeah, we've got a great lawyer firm, Fenwick, which are giving us advice around the utility of the project, as well as licensing legally within the US and internationally as well for sports betting. So, there's elements around that we need to consider, but, how we integrate the token and how deep we go in is sort of Fenwick's giving advice on that now. So, but we appreciate your feedback. Yeah.
We picked Fenwick because they've worked with every crypto company you possibly know. 1inch, Coinbase, Binance, they've worked with them all. They're the leaders, not just in crypto, but they're quite big here in the US, but they have a specific specialty in crypto, and that's why we picked them.
Okay, cool. I think that's all the questions.
Hi guys, I'm still here. Sorry I had some problems with my video, but wanted to thank you for the pitch. Really exciting and innovative what you guys are doing. The the potential use case for real-time analytics for not only betting, but training, coaching, even for boxers to be able to take a look at their opponents, speed and punch power is amazing. And can you side by side compare those graphs with like historical data and prior fights as well?
Yeah, we can blend it in. We can do anything along those data points. We can use historical data to blend into the real-time data. We can, that's where you'll find out there now. A lot of AI companies are just using historical data. We're extracting the real-time data.
Really impressive. I can see in the future how you'd use AI to set up perhaps like potential suggestion bets as well for like newcomers and stuff.
Predictions, and it opens up a whole new realm of betting. We're speaking with a sports betting data partner as well that extract it. Well, we would work with them as the extraction of the data Then they actually do the sports betting out to all different leagues as well.
Yeah, really impressed. I might have missed the slide. Was there an ask here? Are you guys doing a fundraise? Is there an equity round available, or?
We're currently talking with different parties for token. Anyone that's interested in sort of a token deal or a token agreement. We do have some there. We were going to raise a round, but we're probably going to wait till the back end of the year to raise our largest seed round. It's going to be north somewhere with 3 to 5 million in fiat. But right now our cash flow is strong. We want to, launch the product, generate revenue on it through subscriptions, get a good adoption level, get partnerships on. So for right now we're doing, let's just say smaller level token partnership agreements with investors that want to come on the journey. Yeah.
And can you tell me about your platform advertisers that you're targeting or looking at? What kind of advertising you're? I saw that on your revenue slide.
Oh, right. Yeah. So advertising. So, we'll look at YouTube as a category or a channel we're looking to really expand into, creating our own television shows, wrapped around our AI event rooms and the data and the IP we create around them. So there's definitely an advertising there, but then it's on-platform advertising as well. So, Trent, you might want to talk a little bit more about how we'll integrate that in and utilize it on the platform. Yeah.
It's just my focus is not, obviously it's in our plan. We know that we can achieve advertising revenue once we get to traffic numbers, but until we get to those traffic numbers, I won't spend more time on it because I've got more things to work on. But we'll be partnering with an ad network, and then we'll be working to show ads. We're very cautious of not becoming a platform that just has ads everywhere. I think it looks so cheap, and I really do believe it detracts from the experience. So when we do ads, we'll be looking to do them more strategic. Think about how Google have done ads a little bit more strategic in the search, in the SERPs, so, or in the search results page. So we want to make sure that advertising, when we do it on platform, when we have the demand, that we can do it in a way that we tailor the ads so that people are getting ads that are relevant to them, and not generic ads that are not relevant to them. So that's how we plan to attack it. But we'll find an ad network, and we'll know more about that once we get closer to doing it.
Great, thanks. And is there a link to demo the platform? Is the app available?
Yeah, you can go to FX1.io. That's our website. From there, you have links to everything. Our Telegram channel, the apps to download the app.
Are you using like a ZK KYC provider or servicer? Or?
No. So how we KYC people, again, we'll decide how we do that when we get to it. It's just not where we put our effort yet. Once we get closer to knowing when we're going to get our licenses and when we need to KYC people, that's when we'll spend our time on understanding how we do it.
I would suggest one of the ZK passes, some really neat projects that are providing really good service there too. And
okay, cool.
Keep
Thank
people
you.
from having redundancy and stuff. The more steps you can cut out for the lazy web to, the fallout, just getting people to make their wallet and stuff is tremendous. So, and I guess you're really kind of going after the Web 2 crowd. So
I'll check them out. Thank you.
I'll connect with you. And I always have about 10, 15 other questions after the pitch that come to me sometime tonight. But really impressed. And I see what you can do at tennis and golf and all kinds of other sports eventually.
Exactly. Well, it could be good to get on another call.
All right.
Another time. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I'll connect
through
you. Platform.
Thanks, Peter.
So if there are any questions left unanswered, you can quickly just, ask them. I think we have a couple of minutes left or so, but I think we are way too done with the time. So I think, we can wrap this up. Thanks again, guys, for participating. Myself and Ajay, I want to thank you all for participating in this meeting. And thanks for all your questions, guys. And thanks, Damien and Trent, for keeping this whole thing organized, structured. So there were super great answers from your point. So thank you.
No worries.
No worries.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, we will keep all the links somewhere, so you have the opportunity to contact the team and ask your questions personally. So I'll be organized.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Okay, take care.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.